What's up, party people? I'm Jon Macneill, and this is Unpeeled. Today I'm joined by
Carpenter,
Darryl Hurs
of
Indie Week.
What is Indie Week?
We're a music festival and conference that takes place in Toronto in November. We also have a Manchester one that takes place in October.
Okay, so let's rewind. Indie Week started, what, 2003, first year?
Basically,
correct?
Yes.
When was this idea formed?
Less than 9 months.
9 months?
Less than 9 months.
Less than 9 months. So
premature.
Yeah. And what led you to, go on this crazy roller coaster of a ride?
Basically, I was in a band, independent in Toronto, and I just knew the struggles of bands trying to get into showcases and events. So I just wanted to create a platform for independent artists to showcase in front of industry.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
And it's growing exponentially from year one. How many bands are on 2019 or 18?
This year, you mean?
This current year.
There'll be over 300 this year.
300 bands?
Yeah.
In how
Minimum.
many venues?
25 to 30.
Yeah.
And going back to 2003, would you ever in your wildest dreams think it would get to this? Or was it it is going to get to this?
It was a hobby when I started it.
Really?
It was only meant to be a hobby. I was a booker of a venue, so it didn't take much to book 6 venues, which it was the first year.
Yeah.
I actually look back at that and go, wow, that would be easy these days.
Yeah.
And I think I can't remember if it was 40 or 60 bands, it was around that.
Okay.
And, it was a hobby. It wasn't meant to grow, but it just kept growing. Bands from overseas started coming.
That's awesome.
Industry from all angles started coming. Yeah. And now we partnered with people in UK. We're actually doing shows in London in September. Right now we're discussing Halifax, Montreal, Winnipeg.
World domination coming.
And there's other territories that we can't talk about yet.
So in the application process, how does that work for the bands at home that, they're putting forth the effort? Who decides who goes in?
The one thing to note is we listen to absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Right? And Cam here has 35 years of experience, A&R.
Yeah.
You've been everywhere.
It's amazing.
I used to listen to 2,000 tapes a year when I was head of A&R at a major, so
incredible.
I am used to listening to a lot of bands.
So how did this relationship form? How did you come on board with the Indie Week?
I think I went to the first one, and I think you asked me to be a judge, and then Darryl was booking clubs. I was a record company guy. I'd put my bands in his clubs. Then I went indie, and I started booking clubs, and vice versa. And about 4 years ago, I asked Darryl if he needed some help on something.
Yeah.
Pertaining to
yes.
Indie Week.
He said
yes.
Before he sent the email, I said yes.
Yeah, and I just hung around.
The wealth of knowledge. Yes, come on in and share.
The majors aren't hiring old guys like me anymore. They're firing us all. So it was great to get back in on the street and deal with young bands.
The independent scene is bigger than the major scene.
It is now.
It is. The tables have turned.
They have.
And bands kind of have a little bit more control now. They control their own destiny.
Yeah, smart ones do.
But they definitely do. You guys, Sumo Cyco, for example, the DIYs of this world.
That's it. And Sumo Cyco, to me, is the band all other bands should sort of watch as an example.
Yeah.
They won Indie Week 5 years ago.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Right? And so we took them to Europe for the first time. That was their introduction. And they kept going back. They took what that was and they built it themselves. And they just finished a headline tour of UK, them headlining, and sold out shows, and it was amazing, right?
But you could even tell back then when Sky was 14, she was so creative. She was doing her own videos. She was doing her own costumes. There was something there. It was so obvious. And to see it, last Friday night at Lee's Palace, just to the next level. It's unbelievable.
What are you guys looking for? All different sounds? What's going on?
It's always, no matter what happens in the business, it's always about the song.
Yeah.
I look at certain things, but I'm listening sometimes and maybe just running 5 or 6 songs in a row, and then something will catch my ear. It's okay, I'm going to investigate just a bit more.
When a band submit, is it best to submit their best song or the whole entire album?
Yeah, don't give me demos of your new stuff. Don't be embarrassed.
Give me your best foot forward.
Give me your 3 best. Might check your socials as well. And not necessarily for your numbers, but to see how hard you work it. Have you got a show in 2 weeks? Are you out there promoting it? Are you working it? Are you talking about the other bands?
Posted in 3 years.
So it's well, it's for serious independent artists.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah, people that want to take it to the next level.
Exactly. We're the stepping stone to the next level.
And a big part of what we do too is the conference side, which is very much about educating artists. A lot of times I find panels are kind of above their level.
Yep.
You know,
they're preaching to the audience.
Yeah, or it's like, you know, they're talking stats of ticket sales versus downloads, blah blah. Where an indie band's just trying to like survive and build a career.
How do I find an agent? How do I find a publicist? Should I pay for a song plugger?
Do the artists get a deal on the conference as well, like the ones that are performing?
Oh yeah. All the ones performing get passes.
That's awesome.
They don't have to
they
pay
should
for
take
it.
advantage of that.
For sure.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do they all take advantage of it? No, but you should.
The smart ones do, and we see it every year, the smart bands, and most of them go on to greater success.
We help artists. We try to give a platform for them to connect with industry, network with other bands as well. Sometimes bands go, let's tour together, help each other out. And, you know, we have actually a real loyal base of artists that come back every year because they see the value in it.
If you're out of province, you get 2 shows guaranteed. If you're out of the country, you get 3 shows. So you're not coming to a conference and playing 7 o'clock on the Tuesday night.
We met up with Trampa and Tokyo Taboo, and they both played relentlessly.
Tokyo Taboo ended up playing 6 shows, and I think Trampa played 5. Yeah.
This is one key point to artists. They often come here and go, well, we want to book a tour kind of during it, blah, blah. And it's like, you know what? The best thing is go to a festival and partake in every day.
Yeah.
And if you can play every day, and you actually, by the end of the week, if you're good and working it hard, you've built an audience that often local bands don't have yet.
Yeah, no, you've seen people coming out to support Trampa and Tokyo Taboo at the last show, at the finals that night. And I was like, this is exciting. People were getting behind their favorite.
Yeah, people were chanting Trampa.
For sure, and it's weird to see kind of because, you know, with music and competitions, it's hard sometimes. Like, it's selective. Like, everybody has got their own opinion on what's good and what's not. But what was the best part to me was people coming out to support the bands that they were invested in.
Exactly. It's the process, and you know what I see every year is the band that played Wednesday and played Friday, they're better. And then when they play Saturday, they're better. And if they get to Sunday, they're better because they're in the playoffs.
And we pay a lot of attention during the week as well, because sometimes there's an emergency at 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday. A band has to pull out that morning. We were watching who's working hard, who's playing their butts off. If there's a slot at Cherries or the Bovine or whatever, we know that band because they played 3 shows already. They're working the crowd. They're going to the seminars. It's like, you guys want to do this? And 99% of the time, that band that we ask, it's like, we'll play again. We have to do 2 shows tonight? Fine, we'll do it. Whatever it takes.
Exactly.
Yeah.